Welcome back everyone to Scavenging with Pineleaf, a story of tales, travels, and trifles. In our last episode we did the tales where we followed Frodo, and today we are going to be doing the travels, which for year one are towering monuments. And I am looking right at the first of these towering monuments, the Founder's Bounty statue, which is in Delving. So let us up here. Truly a great monument. And this has been around since the start of the game, but somewhere around 5 years ago or somewhere around that, they decided to rebuild it and refurbish it, and they held a Founder's Bounty event to do this. And we can think about that as we come around here. And when they did the Founder's Bounty event, and they added all these... Actually, this is also a server memorial, so that's right. I think they put in all the flowers with the merging of the servers that were done, and maybe a little inspiration with a little help on Bingo Boppin' also. Sort of a combination of those two things, but I think it was mainly for the merging of the servers to remember the servers. So we have here the Gilrain, and this lists the top players and the top worlds, and this is for each of them, and these are the top players for Gilrain, and so therefore each server is remembered here. So we have a little bit for each server that was in the game back when the Founder's Bounty was done. So not just the current 10 servers, but also the others that were here. So if you know the names of all the servers that were originally here, just come to the statue and you could find them. I think it's time for us to head out to our next towering travel, and that'll be King's Crossing. Now from the Shire, probably the easiest way to get there will be to take the Stable Master, since there is a Stable Master that goes from Delving down to Tinadir, and you get one from Tinadir down to High King's Crossing, assuming that you've ever been in Evendon. Of course, I'm a warden, so I'm not going to be doing that. I'll be just using my warden port. High King's Crossing is a truly great monument. It is so great that it's hard to see when you're up close like this. But we have a little remembrance to make right over here. And over here, and what we had at High King's Crossing was part of the... No, I don't think it was part of the epic... No, it couldn't have been part of the epic storyline because Evendon was added much later, but it was part of the main storyline for this region. When I did this particular monument on other characters, I remember the remembrance books being not down here, but up there. It may be because I did not do the quests over here, because I cannot use this rope. Since I can't use this rope, then I obviously won't be able to use any remembrances that are up there. And in order to use the rope, you have to unlock it by running the quests in this area, specifically the one that starts here. But it looks like they had a couple of books down here just in case you did not do it here. And I don't remember these books here being if you did do the quest. So therefore, if you didn't do the quest, you get a couple of remembrances down here. If you did do it, you need to use the rope, go on top, and then use the remembrances up there. I presume that's a reasonably good compromise. So now it's time to head to the Falconers Tower, and that means going into the North Downs. Actually, before I go there, I decided it would be highly remiss for me to come all the way here to High King's Crossing and not show you a decent view of it. Even if this is at night, I think it's still quite a view of the Colossus here at High King's Crossing. Now we could head to the North Downs. I must admit that I don't have too many memories related to the Falconers Tower. The only one I really have is back when the main character I have was trying to go through all of this and complete deeds. And I was trying to complete as many deeds as I can to the various worlds to the various regions, I should say, in order to get as many. Actually, that may be Falconers Tower up there. Is to complete as many deeds as I could to get those exploration deeds completed. And completing these, one of the places I needed to go to was the Falconers Tower, and I had no clue as to where it was, but eventually I found it, and I guess my graphics weren't as good back then, because I certainly saw this a lot earlier than I think I did last time. But yeah, here are the remembrances. So yeah, this is the Falconers Tower. Apparently there are some memories of old spirits here also. So let me have a little bit of a memory of searching for this place in order to complete my deeds, in order to get the virtues up on my main character. This version of Pineleaf doesn't have nearly as high score on the various virtues as my main does. Actually, I guess the other one is upstairs. Ah, yes, there it is. So yeah, we get to remembrances in most other places. Alright, there you go. And that one could be seen at quite a distance, and I didn't realize how far away you could see it until today, because this character hadn't seen the Falconers Tower before, so I was wondering how I was going to be able to find it since I didn't have it marked on my map, but I was able to see it in the distance. Now, if your graphic settings are down on a poor level and your rendering distance is short, you may have trouble, so you will have to make sure you go north when you enter into the fields of Fornost. So that is the Falconers Gate. So now let's head into the Gate of Shadows. Ooh, that is going to be fun. I would like to reiterate that I am not doing this entire thing in the most efficient manner possible. If you want to do this entire series or a year in the most efficient way, then you'll probably be doing the interlead with each other. There will be some of the towering monuments that will make it easier to do some of the parts of Frodo, and some of the trifles might fit in with being done at the same time you're doing one of the other two. And you might even occasionally run into something that's a little bit easier with a different year if you're allowing your... If, for example, you take the next year after finishing one, but before doing the others. So therefore, just keep that in mind, that I am doing this with each year being done individually, and doing each of the 3 points also individually within that. And I think this is the Gate of Shadows? No, it can't be the Gate of Shadows, because... I must be going... yes. That's the thing about Current Doom, is remembering where everything is located. I think I need to go in a little bit further before I find the Gate of Shadows. Boy, this place looks familiar. Yes. I was trying to remember where that thing is, where you are in the epic storyline, where you, with Lothar... Oh boy, I can't remember the name now. With Guladir's daughter, where she is over there, where you have to go. Here's the Gate of Shadows. Truly a terrifying monument. Yeah, I guess I'll have to say that. A lot less terrifying, though, if you are level 105. So yes, trying to get up here with... Okay, I'm going to get her name remembered at some point, because Lorniel, that's right. With Lorniel. See those little memories there. Help me to remember what's going on there. Yes, Golidir's daughter, Lorniel. And having to come up here, because I remember this is the end of going up there. I was always wondering what part of Cardoon you're going through in order to do that part of the epic storyline. And yes, I have now answered that question. So now it's time for us to head up to the Giant's Needle, which is in that truly lovely place, the Misty Mountains. I noticed while doing all this that I didn't have my port to the Misty Mountains.
How may I be of assistance?
So I think it's time for me to amend that little matter. So now it's time for me to get to the Giant's Needle, which is actually closer to Gloin's camp than to here, but I guess that's what stable masters are for. The last time I was in this area was before the revamp of the Misty Mountains, which means that I never got over to here to check in with its stable master, so I didn't have the stable master unlocked. So I have to do that now. Now it's time to build. No, I don't need to go there. Now it's time for me to head up and find that needle. Now, this is an area that I haven't been to all that often because it's rather scary coming here because you have all these elites. They're all over, the giants and the elite bears, so I really don't come through here all that much. So I do have very few memories of this place. And usually what they are involved with things like the quest for the available quest, Giant Country, seek the giant state. Nah, I really don't need that. So you can see I still have that quest available in there. They have all these giants all over the place. So yeah, things can get pretty nasty up here. And there's the giant's table up there, so maybe I should have taken that quest. So I think there might be more to it than just going to the giant's table. So you have these giants popping up right on top of you out of nowhere. You'd think you'd be able to see them from a greater distance away. And now, where is the needle? Now you would think that with a name like Pineleaf Needles, I should have no trouble finding needles, right? Well, apparently not. But let's see, it should be a nice tearing monument up here somewhere. And this is another one of those places that I tended to find. Ah, there it is. Now it doesn't help that it's in a bit of a depression. A truly great monument. Yeah, the Giant's Needle. So yeah, bit thick for a needle, but alright. But as said, not many remembrances of this place, though I have come in here with a group on occasion here and had some really wild adventures up here. Especially doing bounties and the like, but bounties would be part of the next episode, so I'm not going to go too much on that at the matter. But this is one of those cases where I said that this isn't necessarily the most efficient way of doing things, because efficiency would probably mean doing the bounty then coming down here for the needle. And the reason why I'm doing it in that order is because I would come, when I do the bounty, I'll be coming in from the other direction, because whenever I try the bounty from this direction, I get lost. Yeah, memories of getting lost, memories of being in a group, and memories of doing my Warden quest, because you have to come in here to get an item because there's a signature somewhere up in that direction, whatever, that you gotta kill in order to get something from it. Whew, really nasty. And Wardens aren't the only ones who have to come up in this area. And I think that is really nasty of them having to dodge all these elites in order to get that class quest done. So anyway, those are my memories of the giant halls, so even I did have a few of them despite not coming here too often. So now it is time for Moria. Whee! And here we are approaching the Dwarflords Gate, which is between Dolphin View and the Chamber of Crossroads. Truly a great monument, with this long beard like that. I remember Corey Olsen recently making comments about the beard and the waterfall and all that stuff in here as he was admiring various places in Moria. So we have our little memory here. Now, of course, it takes a while in order... Oh. Is it lagging? Yeah, well, it says it's already in use, so I presume it's going to start making me remember this place soon enough. Ah, there we go. Now I'm starting to remember. I must have been trying to dredge those memories from my mind. But anyway, all sorts of things that you do all over throughout Moria. But that is on the way to the Chamber of Crossroads. But there's actually a second place to remember here, and that is all the way up in the fires. Ooh boy, that's a real fun place. What's even more fun is trying to get there, because there really isn't a convenient way to get up to the down to the fires area. I'll know the name of that place in a moment. This is of course the Flaming Deeps and the Gate of the Seven Fathers. Yep, I just reached the area there. And memories in here vary from character to character, because some of my characters don't bother coming through here into the Flaming Deeps, while others have gone through here, done all the quests up in that area and around there. And of course we have the waterworks down there. So yes, I do have some memories of this area, though not too many of the gate itself, because it's usually just a place to pass through, such as the other one we had in Moria. But yes, it is an impressive monument. And to think that this has been abandoned for thousands of years, and between the orcs and time, it still looks like it's in decent shape. So yes, the orcs, I mean the dwarves certainly build for the long term. The orcs, no, they don't. As we head for the Argonath, we have the memory of the time I had a stream with Corey Olsen. He was doing this big, long, 12-hour stream, and I was with him for the first couple of hours of it, and we were in the East Wall at the time, and we started right around the area of the Argonath, which is the next towering monument that we have, and in fact I could see it up over there. Let's make sure that we get a good look at a better look than we had of the Colossus at High King's Crossing, because here at least it's nice and daylight, albeit a little bit cloudy, but we can see it in its full glory. And we can head for it to see a few memories from the place. Up there, and yes, a truly great monument. So let's get down here and remember this place. As I said, my time in the area with Corey Olsen. And of course, this is where you come for the start of the storyline when you are going through Rohan, where you enter Rohan, at least in the epic, you enter Rohan down here, and then you go up to Parthgalen and on Hen, where we were yesterday when we were following Frodo. And then you head into the main part of Rohan. And I think the reason why they split up where you enter with the epic storyline, which is right over here, from where you would enter Rohan if you came in from the Great River, which is way to the south, was to help to split up the player base so you wouldn't have everybody rushing in all at once, which is a problem when you have a new expansion. So therefore, it's now time for us to enter into Gondor. Whee! Our next location is, of course, the reason for the housing decoration that's selected for the first year, and that is the Stone of Erech. And you can see it up there. We see it better back before the trees popped up into rendering distance. And during the first season of Pineleaf in Gondor, I used that as a thumbnail because I thought it would be most appropriate to use the Stone of Erech as a thumbnail, because we were going through the regions before that. Yeah, I always get up here in the wrong way. That's the tricky thing, is that I've yet to find a good way to consistently enter properly from that direction, so I wind up coming in on this way in the end. And even here my approach is not yes, because here I can find the road and get up here. Once I'm on the road, everything is fine. And we also had a session play up here. And this session play... Oh, completed Path of the Grey Host. What? I thought... I did the epic storyline on a video series with this character. And you're saying that I didn't get close enough to complete a deed? Or is that, see, what is this deed? Peligir? Ah! This was added afterwards. It gives Ethring, Camp of the Grey Host, Linhip, Kellenbell, and Peligir were, of course, all added, tended to be added after this, so therefore it was a later deed, and I just never went back here in order to complete that deed. Well, now I had an opportunity to do that. But yes, this is the reason why I've now have this in my yard at the housing instance. That is the Hill of Erech. So now it's time to head for the crossroads, which means heading all the way near Minas Tirith. Fortunately, I have a port to After Battle of Gilead, which makes this a whole lot easier to get here. And that means I can head up here in order to reach the crossroads. So this is one of those areas that will be tough to get to if you are a lower level player. And that's the thing to note, that yeah, this is not exactly the easiest place to get to. Now, we really do need to do something about that. Head up there. Actually, I think there's a side quest that where you do that. Unfortunately, apparently I did not do that on this character, since I was emphasizing the epic storyline with this character. Alright, there we go. And here's the last of the remembrances. And that completes the Year 1 travels. For all those wondrous places, all those towering monuments that I have visited over the years. And that is the second part of the 10th anniversary, 10 years of travel. So they added another deed for this because we had 10 years of Tales opened up yesterday. Now 10 years of travels. So I presume that in the next episode we'll be unlocking 10 years of Trifles. But that will be in our next episode of Scavenging with Pineleaf.